What's up, it's your boy Tarek Ali and welcome back to your boy's channel. So I'm having a great day so far. I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling empowered, I'm feeling positive. So look, today is a different video, okay? You know, we're doing a Tuh-reek talk today. You know, we're sitting here, I got the tapestry up, we got the vibes going. I ran out of sage. I would burn some sage, girl, but I ran out. Okay, so these demons, they still gone. We gonna keep them gone, but I'm gonna get some more sage soon because I need my sage cleanse once a week. I wanted to make sure that I did this video before Pride Month was over, even though, you know, it's Pride Month every single month here on my channel. But, you know, I wanted to make sure that I got this in Pride Month because I've gotten this question so many times. You know, what's the difference between Black Pride, regular Pride, white Pride, Hispanic Pride? Why is there so many prides? I want to come here and I want to explain it, and I want to explain where it came from and why it's still present now. And I just want us to have an open conversation, white, black, Hispanic, Asian, anybody. I want this to be a safe space for everyone. I don't want anyone to feel excluded in this conversation because since we're all a part of it, we all have to contribute to it and we all have to make some changes, okay? Some people more than others, but we're gonna get into some things. Y'all know what Tarek Ali does. You know, I come here, I start the conversation. I don't say anything to be right. I just say to start the conversation to get people talking, okay? So while you're watching this video, please make sure that you're in the comments sharing your opinions and something that I may have missed or misspoke about, okay? You may be right, you may be wrong, but this is the open space to do that. Okay, so we're gonna let this title card run and then we're gonna get straight into it. Okay? Okay, so for today, y'all know we like to have a glass of wine every single time that I do a Tuh-reek talk. So, if you're at home, please make sure you have your wine out if you're 21 and up. Okay, if you live in Europe, we're not doing that. We're not doing the texts. So today, I'm going to be drinking this California Roots Chardonnay. This was a gift. You know, when people come into my apartment, they know me very well, so they know that they are supposed to bring a bottle of wine. So, that's what I'm going to be drinking today. I'm almost out, and this is my last bottle. I've been out of town a lot, so I don't really have any other wine, but she'll do. So yes, while you're sitting here waiting for me to swirl and sniff my wine, please make sure that you like and subscribe, okay? Because in order for me to keep having these conversations, I have to have the engagement, girl. You know, help a brother out, okay? I got to make some coin and pay my rent somehow, girl. Okay. It's another experience when you actually do it the way you're supposed to, like sniff it and the flavor. If you are in New York on June 27th, please come out and see me at this event that I will be at and making an appearance at, okay, girl? If you're coming to New York Pride, please come out and meet me, girl. Have a good time. It is 18 and up. There will be HIV testing. It will be a great time. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And we're going to turn up, girl. You can come have a glass of wine with me. Okay, so let me get into my notes. Okay, so, you know, before I like to have conversations about anything, I think it's always important to define the words and topics that you're talking about. The reason I do this is because sometimes there's a definition of a word, but that definition of that word in like Merriam-Webster dictionary or whatever may be different than how we use it colloquially or how we view it as a community. Okay, so gay pride is confidence, self-respect, and solidarity as expressed by gay people associated with openness about one's own sexual identity and the celebration of gay culture and history. Okay, so there you go. I feel like as a community, we all can agree and say that gay pride, the definition was pretty spot on and how the community really looks at it. You know, it's a celebration of being who you are and being happy about your sexuality and finding confidence in that and blah, 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 blah. Okay, so if you look at the definition of gay pride, and there it says something about history. I mean, just off the basis of that, I mean, you could have an idea of why they are separate or why people like to divide Black pride and white pride because different experiences. I mean, our coming out stories and how we dealt with our sexualities and how our communities treated it and looked at it was completely different. I mean, throughout different races and ethnicities. Like, I don't want to say it was way harder for Black people to come out, but I will say, as a Black person, as an African American, I can tell you, a lot of our culture was always trying to assimilate, or I don't want to say that, but I feel like there's this sense of trying to prove back in the day that we are just as good as white people. And like now we're at a point where we don't have to prove that. I think everyone knows that. You know, we can do exactly what you can do, and if not, we can do it better because of our experiences and because we have to work harder. But I would say back in the day, it was always this: iron your clothes, wear a suit, okay, do this, because they're going to think otherwise. So I will say, in the Black community, there was always this disdain and this scorning of being homosexual or being feminine or effeminate in any way as a man, because that was another reason to give white people to look down on us. Damn, they already think this of us, and now you're gonna go and be feminine? Like, you're gonna go and be gay? Like, that just adds on to you being black. So that's why I can say as a black man and as an African American, it was always harder for a lot of us to be gay and for us to come out. Now, I'm not white, and I cannot speak for the white experience, so I'm not really gonna speak about that. But, you know, because being white, you already have all of the privileges that come with that, you know, and being gay, like, yeah, you're going to be looked at different, but at the end of the day, if the police run in, they're going to run to me before they run to you. And it's not just police, it comes to jobs, you're going to get the job first. It's just a lot of different privileges that you have as a white person that don't leave just because you're homosexual or you're trans or something like that. So now, okay, so now we can really talk about, you know, the actual prides. Okay, so there's a regular pride. Okay, so there's a regular pride usually in all of the major cities. Like, it's just called pride. There is a main pride where there's a festival, there's a parade, there's a lot of different things for pride, okay? And there's no color or race attached to it, it's just pride, okay? But then I think a lot of people don't know, well, a lot of white people don't know, a good amount of my white friends don't know until I say it, but there is a black pride. Like, and it's not the same weekend or week as pride, but there also is Hispanic and Latino prides, like in different cities where there are large communities of those people. Believe it or not, there are some white prides, like where it says white pride for white people. Now, a lot of people would say, okay, there's a black pride, why can't there be a white pride? You know, the reason for this is black pride and Hispanic prides were made out of results of being discriminated against, and being pushed out and having to make a black pride. Like, I don't think a lot of white people get that I think they think that we want to be separate. Like, we want to have our own thing. Like, that would be cool, but that's not usually how most of these things happen. Like, we didn't want to have to make HBCUs. Like, we didn't want to make our own colleges. You know, the regular colleges or the white colleges, they didn't want to accept black people. So what do? We made our own, you know, colleges. When it comes to the feminist movement, okay, you had feminism and you had womanism. And that's because a lot of black women didn't feel like they were accepted or they were being treated, or the movement was for them also. So there was feminists, there was white feminists, and the black people were left out. So the black woman made the womanist movement. And a lot of people don't even know about that either. Look that up, girl. There's a lot of things where we had to do it rather than we wanted to. So that is really what black pride and Hispanic pride and things are like that are made from. It's because we had to. Now, I'm going to get into that in the video of why we had to when it comes to pride and specific to queer people and gay people and everything like that further in the video. But right now, so y'all know that I'm not talking out the side of my ass, I'm going to call one of my good friends. I have a lot of white friends, and you know, okay, I want to say a lot. I'm not going to lie. I don't have a lot of white friends, but I have a lot of white associates, like people I'm really cool with. And I'm going to call one of them because I haven't told him what this video is about. I really just want to ask him out of nowhere if he knows what Black Pride is and why he think it came about. I miss you, Dylan!
Oh my god, it's literally been forever. Like, literally.
Are you going to New York Pride?
I was thinking about it.
So I have a question for you, and it actually has to do with that. So, do you know what Black Pride is?
Do I know what Black Pride is? In the sense of, like, Black Pride...
Do you know it exists?
Yes.
Okay, do you know why it exists?
For the struggles that Black people in the LGBT community specifically have gone through.
Okay, well, this is not fair. Dylan is, like, super, like, educated. Like, okay, yeah.
What have people been saying?
Yeah, I mean, but you'd be surprised. Would you agree that a lot of white people don't know what Black Pride is? Like, they don't know it's a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but we're kind of both, like, super queer, like, like,
so
yeah.
Very representative. Even just the people that I meet here at Harvard are just very unrepresentative and of the population as a whole, and really do not understand much. So I feel like a lot of people even here would think that, yeah.
Okay, so the first thing that I have on my list that started this divide is racism, okay? And I know we hate to talk about racism. I know it makes all of the white gays uncomfortable. I understand, but listen, girl, We gotta talk about it because it's happening. I'm just laughing because it really be making y'all uncomfortable. But I mean, we don't want to keep having this happen, girl. It ain't our fault. But listen, the racism. Okay, so let me just say, back in the day, back like before the 2000s, I would say, they would just, not offer you business because you were gay. Like, they have that right. A business can say, no, I don't want to do business with you. So if it was a club, they can say that they don't want you to come in and give them business. So back in the day, that was okay. If you were gay, they could kick you out, girl, and you most likely wouldn't have a case on your hand. These days, they know that our generation is really about equality and blah, 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 and we will get you canceled. We will have your club canceled. We will be outside of your club doing protests. We will drag you through the mud on Twitter. We will do everything. We will do everything, girl. We will have the Yelp reviews horrible. 1 star, 0.5 stars. So businesses these days, they're being a little slick on how they do their racism, okay? And how are they doing this racism? They are doing it with dress codes, and they're doing it with the music they play. The first way they do this is by making a dress code for clubs, okay? They say no chains. They say no white, Air Force Ones. They say no Air Force Ones. They say no Jordans. They say no Timbs. And then, these are things that we wear in our culture as black people. That's a part of our fashion. There are things that we make hot in our culture, and we love it, and it's deemed as ghetto or black until one white person or white celebrity starts doing it, and then now it's an everybody thing and not a black thing anymore. Like cornrows. Back in the day, they probably did ban cornrows. But now when Kim Kardashian came up there with some cornrows, it was cute. Now everybody with cornrows can come into the club. But that's how they do it, okay? They do the dress codes. They do things that they know usually only black people would wear. White people, they might like some Sperry's, some boat shoes. You don't really see a lot of white people in Jordans. You know what I mean? So that's how they do it. That's the first thing they do. The second thing they do is they ban the music. Oh, we're banning hip-hop because we want this to be positive vibes and we don't want to promote any violence. Girl, and a lot of people are going to watch this and be like, girl, I've never heard of that. Girl, I have evidence. Girl, let me break. I have evidence. I have evidence, Your Honor. Me, bitch. I have evidence for myself and for this video because a lot of people aren't going to believe me. But let me tell you. Look on this screen. Somewhere, I don't know where I'm going to put it, but I have evidence. One of my friends, he lives in Chicago. One of his favorite gay clubs banned hip-hop music. And this is the message or the announcement that they gave out to the public on why they were banning hip-hop music. Girl, they said no Cardi B. They said no Nicki Minaj. I'm so dead. This is a gay club because first of all, out of all of the people, you named Cardi B and Nicki Minaj. You said some Nicki Minaj. We'll listen to the Va Va Boom and the Whip It and the Starships. But girl, the newer Nicki Minaj, it ain't happening. That was just funny to me. I'm sorry. I really want to know who wrote this. Okay, and I don't want to put the club's name out there, girl, because I'm not trying to get sued. Okay, I came here to start a conversation, girl, not to start a lawsuit. Okay, because I'm not paying for a lawyer and I will not show up, girl, and I will be in jail, bitch. They will take my gavel, bitch. I don't have time. But yes, this really happens. They ban hip-hop music, and without hip-hop music, you're really not going to get that many black people. Okay, and if you do, you're going to get skin folk, not kinfolk. You know what I mean? Well, I don't want to say you ain't kinfolk because you don't listen to hip-hop music. It don't make, liking hip-hop music don't make you black, but it is a large part of our culture because it's just a large part of our culture. I'm not getting into that, girl. But you know what I mean, okay? So if you ban these things, if you ban the way we dress, and you ban to what we listen to, why would I go? The next thing that I put up here that started the divide is comfortability. Okay, so, even though that we're all gay, we're all queer, I can talk to you about liking guys and you're a white guy and, we can relate on that end. But at the end of the day, I can still feel the racism. Okay, I can still feel the way that you're looking at me when I go towards this merchandise and you're thinking I'm going to steal it. Like, our color doesn't change, okay? The race doesn't change. We both may still be gay, but I still feel that racism. I still feel that prejudice. I still feel profiling. So it's just not comfortable for me. I feel like a lot of white gays, because they're queer and because they're gay, and yes, I know you go through a lot. I do. I understand I'm gay also. I think that a lot of them think that they're exempt from being prejudiced and discriminatory. I say this all the time. Like, I feel like a lot of white gays think they went through slavery. Girl, you can't tell them nothing, girl. You can't tell them nothing, girl. They feel like, I've been through a lot. and I blah, 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 and I can relate to slavery. Girl, I've heard it. I've heard it, girl. I'm not even lying to you. I've heard it. I feel like a lot of them feel like they are just exempt. Like they can do whatever they want just because they're gay. And that's what happens when you give a white person just a little bit of discrimination and oppression. But I'm not trying to minimize their feelings. I'm not trying to minimize their experience. And I really do understand and I sympathize with your experience of being queer. But at the same time, that does not mean that you cannot yourself be discriminatory. Just like a lot of black gay men are discriminatory towards trans women. Are we going to talk about it? This isn't just white people, but black gay men do it too. We all do it. Well, I'm trying my best not to do any of it. That's why I'm sitting here having a conversation. But I'm not perfect. We all have these thoughts and we all have these things where we are discriminatory towards other demographics and other groups. And, we need to stop that. Okay, and the last thing on my list is preferences, okay? And I think it's personally whack and tacky, and I think it's wrong to shut out a complete demographic and race by saying, oh, I don't really like any white guys, or I don't like any Asian guys, or like no blacks, no fats. Like, I think that is just ignorant, but hey, to each its own. I think it's wrong, but listen, for me, it's wrong for me. I don't never like to place my ideologies and normalizations on other people. So listen, you do what you like, but I just personally can't get with it. So, but I will say in these clubs, everybody has different preferences, okay? So I feel like when I go in a white club, just personally, I'm invisible. I literally feel invisible in a white club. I don't feel like anybody's into me. I feel like a lot of, like, the thing is, like, I'm attracted to some white people. Like, I really am. And, like, I don't feel like any of them are attracted to me. So I just don't find interest in them for that reason. It's not because you're white. It's because I just don't feel like it's returned. And that's another thing. I feel like a lot of white gays, they like black men for sex, but they don't like us to bring us home. You know what I mean? Like, they want us for the sheets, but they don't want us for the streets. Like, they don't want everything that comes with that. And I feel like with that preference, like, everybody has their preferences. That's all I'm going to say. But I feel like, that causes another divide. It's because racism still exists, and those prejudice and the way we treat each other as black and white people here in America, that still exists. Gay or not, trans or not, it still exists. And that's shown in a lot of different things. Like when you look at Pose, like ballroom, there's no white queens in ballroom, and there was a reason for that. We had to make our own spaces. See, these are spaces that we had to make to feel comfortable to be ourselves, so that we wouldn't be discriminated against. You can't come in there and be an asshole and profile, because this is our space. But in the spaces like the white spaces, it's like we can go, but we don't feel welcome. You know what I mean? And like, you go to a ball these days, everybody's welcome, everybody's nice, and that's really what I want to get across here. Black pride and Hispanic pride and everything like that, that was only made so that people could feel comfortable. It was never made out of a black is better than everybody. It was never. All of the black things that were ever made were never for that reason. We made it into a black power thing because all of the discrimination and racism that we went through has tarnished and like really affected and traumatized our demographic to think we are not good enough. Because y'all wouldn't hire us. Because y'all treat us different in grocery stores and corner stores and Neiman Marcus because you think we can't afford something. Or because you look at me and think I don't have all A's. You know what I mean? It's because of that. Like over the time, some people started to believe that. So what did? We took our power back and say, no, black is beautiful, black is great, black is smart, black is everything that you couldn't imagine. It's everything. So we have to tell our kids that so that they will believe that, so that when we're not with them, they can believe that in white spaces. It's not like a we hate white people thing. It's a we're trying to get us and our kids to a point where knowing that you are capable. Okay, this is not something that we did to make ourselves superior. It's never been that. Like, you will meet some black people like that, but that's not where it originated. We did this because we had to. We did this because this is what we had to do to survive and to feel comfortable. So that's really what I wanted to get in this video, and I want a lot of white people to get that. Being pro-black is not anti-white, and being pro-white can be anti-black. I would just say that. Like, I want everybody to take pride in their culture and their race and everything like that. But there's never been a space where you had to feel like you had to be pro-white. There's never been a time where you felt like, oh, no, you're good, you're white, you're good, you're white, you're good, you're white. Like, don't believe them. Girl, you've never had to do that. You've never been declined a job because you were white. You've never been declined this. You've never had to do that. We did that because we had to. You've never been in a space where you had to do that. And that's why when you're pro-white and so pro that, it seems anti-anything else. Because anything in history, if you look at anything in history, the history shows us that white people were the one that discriminated against us. You've never had to make a space for white people because all of them were already for y'all. So that is why there's the divide. And when we talk about should, hold up. And when we talk about should we bring these prides together, I would love a world. Well, race wasn't this big. I want us to be able to take pride in our ethnicities, in our cultures, in our identities, without it being a tearing down of others. Why can't I just sit here and say, I love my blackness, I love my skin, I love my hair, my curls, without somebody beside me thinking that I'm trying to make myself look better than them? It's not that. I'm just being proud in who I am. I wish we could get to a point there, but I do think that the separation of prides does give room for different what you like. Because if you're a white guy that loves hip-hop, you know, and you love this and that, you might enjoy black pride more than you enjoy white pride because the different music or whatever they'll play. So, you know, I think right now is a good thing. I think that I like that there's an overall pride, and then you can go to the black prides for the little things that you like there, or like the Hispanic pride if you like Spanish music and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I like that. But I don't want people to get confused and to think that this is like we're better. I think pride itself is, I'm proud to be queer, I'm happy to be gay. You know, go to pride, I'm happy to say that. But when I go to gay black pride, I say I'm happy to be a gay black man. You know what I mean? It's adding that extra layer, that intersectionality, and that extra label that I'm okay with that label. That label is my identity. I'm happy that I'm black. I'm happy that I'm gay. I don't care if you throw that label on me, girl. It's true. And I'm happy about it. Not everybody likes it, but everything is a personal preference. And I want everyone to feel the freedom to be able to do that. So listen, I hope everybody enjoyed this video. I hope that, you know, this was an enlightening video. I hope that everybody feels that this is a space where you can talk and feel free about your opinions. Please share them in the comments. I want to hear what you guys think about it. Should they be separate? Should they be together? You know, what are your thoughts on it? Have you experienced black pride and you're white? Have you experienced white pride? Tell me. You know, I want to hear everybody's opinions. If I misspoke about something, let me know, girl, but don't do it in a negative way because I will delete your comments. Okay, thank you. My name is Tarek Ali. Once again, thank you for watching. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe.